where today I'm going to give you a little trick about something that I have learned actually from my grandmother with the old vintage style egg beater. But today I'm going to show you a trick about making, this is actually zero sugar jello, a chocolate pudding. Welcome to my kitchen. Here's Johnny. I'm also known on this as Cajun Roots Cuisine, where today I'm going to give you a little trick about something that I have learned actually from my grandmother with the old vintage style egg beater. But today I'm going to show you a trick about making, this is actually zero sugar jello, a chocolate pudding. And this one's going to be chocolate. But do you usually use one of these where it tells you on the instructions? You know how most of us don't follow instructions, right? And it says here, beat for 2 minutes. Well, guess what? I have a little trick that I'm going to show you because of the fact that I have not been doing this for quite a while now. And I decided, you know what? It is time for me to put this on a video because I didn't make one yet. So I'm going to make some today, and I decided, let me take out the camera and show you what I'm talking about. So without further ado, let's get into making this chocolate pudding. No sugar added. Follow me in the kitchen. All right, what you're going to need is a large bowl because I'm not just doing your traditional, and I left it over here. All right, we're not going to do just the traditional chocolate, zero sugar. What I like to do is mix it up a little bit because I buy these pint, half gallon of milk, and I'm the only one that drinks milk, so I don't like to let it go to waste. So I've learned a little trick about a half gallon of milk by combining, and I do very creative flavors. But this one I'm thinking today is the chocolate cream cheese, but butterscotch. So this will be a chocolate butterscotch cheesecake. Oop, I had it upside down. So we're doing chocolate butterscotch cheesecake. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take each one of these, and I do follow the instructions a little bit, except for one thing. Instead of these old-fashioned, I'm going to throw that out of the way over there. I ain't using those today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this all out of the box, put it in my nice clean bowl, and I'm going to take and empty all of these into one bowl. And I usually, before I do that, I already know by doing these, I'm going to get this ready because I do use the following. Those 3 flavors, vanilla extract, my milk, which in this case is 2%, but I'm also using the special dark chocolate cocoa, 100%, and you will need 2 separate tablespoons, and instead of the beaters, we're using the mixer. Yes! So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to need my 2-cup measuring cup. I have several, but I like to use this 2-1 because the large box takes 3 cups of milk. These take 2 cups of milk. So that'll be, I'm making sure, yep, 2 cups. If I can find the directions on this. Yes, 3 cups. So I'm going to use 3 cups on this one, and these take 2 cups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my milk in my bowl first. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. And this will be my first 2. But there's a little secret I add to this. Make sure there's nothing in there. I save the rest of my coffee from in the morning that I don't drink. This happens to be coffee and chicory. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a tablespoon with my milk to make my 2 cups. And I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of this coffee that's been sitting at room temperature. And I'm going to do 1 and 2. Now I'm going to do that per each cup or each box, so to say. So that's my first one. That's my little extra ingredient that I throw in there. So that's 3. That's 2. This will be my 3rd one for that 1 large box. There's my 3. Now on the others, I'm going to need 2 cups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right below the 2-cup line. And this time I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of my chicory coffee. So now I'm going to take on this 2 cup, And I'm only going to add 1 tablespoon per 2 cups. So what I'm going to do is there's my 2. And I'll put that in there. That's for 1 box. And I need 1 more. And I'll do the same thing, but instead of the 2 for the first box, I'm only going to use 1 tablespoon of my chicory coffee. Now you can also use, as a little extra flavoring, you can use instant coffee. I don't like to use instant coffee, but I do love using anything as dark and thick as I can on my coffee, and that's what I like drinking. So I'm going to use it for this. So there's my 2 per box and my 3 with my coffee, and I'm done with that. I'll move my coffee back out the way. And I usually take that coffee, whatever's left, if there's any left, and then I usually just make it an iced coffee. Now this you're going to use a dash, or at least a third of a teaspoon. Let me get one, because I usually don't measure. You know, us in these usually non-measured type of things that we do, I usually just eye it. So what I'm going to do is a 1/4. I'm going to use a 1/4 of a cup of vanilla to add to this, and I'm going to leave that there so I can wipe it off. That's my vanilla. Now, because I'm using these 3 boxes, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of the dark special chocolate cocoa. And of course, I'm just going to take the spoon and smooth it. There's my 1. I need a little bit more. And there's my 2. That's my dry ingredients. Now I'm done with that. Now I'm going to put all the pudding into the bowl. And I like to put this on top of the milk. I've learned the hard way, when you're putting them on the powder at the bottom, it always has that tendency to stick to the bottom. Then you have to use a spatula. So what I do is I put the milk in first, my vanilla. Then I do the dry ingredients. And then I'll add these next. And this will be the fast and easiest. And what I've learned by doing it with the mixer, usually if you do the hand mix for 2 minutes, your wrist gets tired, your arm gets tired. Then all of a sudden, I find it's not as fluffy. You got a typical pudding. With the mixer, I find you get a nice, fluffy, airy pudding. That's why I use the mixer. Now, the reason I got that idea one day, I was like, I want to make pudding. I don't want to get myself tired that easy. Let me see how this will work. And guess what? That's the only way I do it now. All right, so there's my chocolate butterscotch cheesecake mixture all together. Let me put this on here so I don't dump that by accident. I just want to wash that off. I'm done with the milk, and usually I have a little bit left. That'll be for me with my cereal in the morning. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I do have my mixer. I will start slow speed first. I want to get it well incorporated. Then I'll set a timer for 2 minutes. So let me get that real quick, and be right back with you. All right, now this is where I have it kind of incorporated so it's kind of mixed within the milk. So now I'm going to set my timer. Alexa, set me a timer for 2 minutes, please.
2 minutes, starting now.
Now I'm going to go on high.
A few moments later.
Alexa, stop. Now, one of the things you're going to notice when you're done with this, it actually looks more like cake mix when you're done. But you know, you got to set it in the refrigerator for a little while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these cleaned off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this. And the way I do this to put in the refrigerator to set, which takes about 5-10 minutes, is I will cover it with cellophane wrap or cling wrap, and then foil on top of this, and then I'll set it in the refrigerator. Usually about 10 minutes is what it usually would take to settle. And we'll get that done, and I'll show you the finished product. And I do want to make a point to show you. You see how the batter is actually floating around like it would be a cake mix. Is what the finished product is going to look like. But we're going to go ahead and put this in the fridge and let it sit because it's almost there. But I find it takes less time to set when you do it this way with the mixer. All right, as we're outside, I want to take a quick little show. We've had 3 to a little over 3 inches of snow last night and yesterday, and a little bit this morning. As you see here, everything is covered. Yes, we do have a white Christmas this year. And of course, the dogs love running in the snow, eating the snow, and playing in the snow. It's like it drives them nuts, which is fine with me. So I'll give this a few minutes because I just wanted to do an outside scene real quick. Leaving the pudding because I had to clean my kitchen first, and the pudding should be done by the time we get back inside, and we'll show you the finished product. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the one I never had when I was young.
A few moments later.
And now I'm going to reveal, but one of the things I do want to mention that I do find at the store now is this Cool Whip Zero Sugar that I use for Robert and myself. I like it, and I'll be topping this a little bit with that. But first of all, let's reveal. I'll take the foil off and the cling wrap. The reason I do both is because that way the condensation that comes off the top will not go on the top of the pudding. So we'll take that off. And there's the pudding. Nice and thick. Doesn't move. Now, what I want to show you is when I take this out of the bowl, how fluffy this is. Almost like a mousse. Look how airy and fluffy that is when I use the mixer instead of a beater. Beautiful. Fluffy. Very airy. And nice and thick. So there's that. And we're going to go ahead now. And again, remember that I did add my vanilla, the dark cocoa, which I always use. And now we're going to top it off with some sugar-free Cool Whip. Now you can use whatever you like. This is just for video purposes only. You can also top this with maybe some little chocolate sprinkles, some color sprinkles. Because it's the winter time and it's holiday season, you can also sprinkle yourself a little bit of peppermint bark or chocolate bark or whatever you like. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the taste test. I wish you can smell it. You could definitely smell the cream cheese, the butterscotch, and the chocolate. And this is what I like about how airy it is, and fluffy, and thick. It feels like a little party going on in your mouth. I can taste the chocolate, I can taste the cheesecake, and I can taste the butterscotch. So you get all those flavors combined together, especially with using the mixer instead of a beater. I'm going to have a second serving, y'all. Now, I had to do this video because, again, I've been doing this for quite a while. Let me adjust my camera so I can show my mug. Bring it back up. I had to show it on a video because I've always been doing this. And guess what? I never actually thought about doing it on a video until, you know what? I said today, I'm doing it today. So we're gonna move a little bit in my kitchen here. The trick is the 2 minutes timer. So letting it sit for 10 minutes in the refrigerator after. But again, 3 cups for the large box, 2 cups for the little, 2 tablespoons of coffee, which I use chicory. And of course you have your vanilla and my dark chocolate cocoa. And then the only difference is instead of a hand beater, I'm using a mixer. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any great ideas that you would like to see in a video, let me know by leaving those comments down below. And if you've been to my channel, I want to thank you so much for your constant support. I promise in the new year that I will be doing more videos. I have some, I just got to put them up, you know? And I've been a little bit distracted trying to get my other channels together. I got 5 total. But that's no excuse. So, again, if this has been your first time coming here, I want to thank you so much for tripping over my channel. I hope this little trick helps on your next batch of pudding. I think you would love it. And if you do make it, let me know those comments in the comment section below what you think. So as I say before I end each and every one of my videos, thank y'all very much for coming. And by the way, what I'm going to ask you is free. Right below this video, there's that word subscribe. Would you please check and see if you're subscribed? So when I come out other videos, hit the notification of all next to that. Give me that thumbs up. Let me know what you think about the video by leaving me those comments, because guess what? I do look and reply to every single comment. So as I say before I end each and every one of my videos, love always. Love is always free. Please be kind to one another till we meet into another chat or a live or any video. Y'all come back now, you hear? Later. Peace out. Thank y'all very much and have a happy holiday season. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Ho, ho, ho.